Hi, my name is Katelyn Lu, and I am going to be telling you the story of my project throughout Life Design Lab. In this class, we were told to think of a project that we had some interest in or personal connection to. Through this, we devoted the class period to developing a project without having someone do check-ins or actively telling us to work. The class was designed for us to experience a sense of freedom, that we were allowed to pick our own project and do our work on our own schedules with the understanding that we were using our time well. I started the year without having any idea of what I wanted to do. While we were still in the planning phases, we were assigned docs that would help us think of possible project ideas. While I wasn't exactly set on a topic for my project, I knew I wanted to do something that would either benefit either me or other people. More specifically, I wanted something that would be impressive. I started with thinking about things that I enjoyed, such as hobbies and what I spent my time on after school. This led me into the idea of organization. I was constantly thinking about my daily schedule and how to balance homework with hanging out with friends or sports. However, I realized that while I wanted to get good grades, it was difficult to devote a lot of time to just doing work with effort. This was because every time I was working, I would always think, will I have enough time to talk to my friends or do other things? Or my friends would text me while I was doing homework and I would get sidetracked. But while I knew that I didn't like doing homework, it was important to put time aside so I would understand the classwork and not get penalized for not doing the homework. So I concluded with the idea of making a time management program that would automatically fit in time for the users to balance homework and their fun. My first thought was to create a coded scheduler on Python, as we had a unit surrounding coding for STEM last year. I wanted the program to ask about one's daily life as they woke up or slept, their activities, and how much work they had to do at home. But because this was the first time we had ever gotten the freedom of doing whatever we wanted with our class time in school rather than teachers telling us what to do, there were difficulties surrounding staying on task for a majority of the time and asking for help. Since it was our own project that we chose ourselves, I felt that I needed to be extremely independent and be able to have a done project without any help. Obviously, that was difficult as I started with minimal knowledge of what I was doing. Therefore, instead of asking help, I took the initiative to learn how to add to the code through watching YouTube videos, searching commands, and improving the system through tests. So at the first night, I presented a Python coded scheduler. However, there were many issues to using Python. First, I was unsure how to make the schedule more visual, as I was still new to coding, and my code had issues of going back in time and not correctly fitting in when the users could do their homework activities. At this night, I was given lots of feedback that included making the scheduler more automatic so the user wouldn't have to input their activities every day, and making it into an app. This caused me to shift my program to Google Sheets, as there were many factors to this. One, on the physical aspect, I wanted the program to be more visual so the user could understand the program easily. But there was also an understanding that Python coding was extremely difficult. I started thinking that I was overreaching and overestimating my abilities because I wanted the project to be impressive. Therefore, I was unsure if I was going to have a completed project that worked on time by the time we needed to present. So I made the ultimate decision of starting the program on a different system. Through using Google Sheets and App Sheets, I was able to create a prototype of the program, which I included multiple tabs that allowed the user to input their activities through specific dates and times, allowing the program to be much more visual and so the user could see their daily schedule. Through this, I learned that starting over isn't necessarily a sense of failure, but rather building off of your knowledge and understanding that things can be better if you try it again and look at it from a different perspective. While the project I created wasn't necessarily what I imagined it would be from when I started, it allowed me to learn that it's not exactly about having a complete end creation, but rather that if one faces issues, to overcome them and try to work a different way around it. Lastly, it allowed me to learn about having a balance between fun and work. While people don't typically like doing assignments, it is necessary to actually complete the task. Throughout the year, I realized that I would either rush to have assignments done or put them off until they actually needed to be submitted. However, that shifted as I realized that if I spent some time working, I could have a sense of balance with entertainment and work. Lastly, throughout this year, I noticed a mental growth, as originally I just joined this class to meet my STEM requirements, but I never would have expected that I would learn that it's okay to restart and to pause, to look at things differently from a different perspective, and more importantly, to take accountability. Rather than blaming the fact that I didn't know how to do something so I was being stopped. I learned to accept that humans are not perfect, and we make decisions that aren't always the best. But it is important to look at those decisions and the consequences that come with it. While I acknowledge that I cannot blame outside issues, I was able to grow and start actively working in class. Thank you.